Masih Alinejad, a human rights activist and a host of VOA Persian Service's tablet show, says she's familiar with threats, but none like this.
I know that the Islamic Republic actually had a plan to kidnap me from New York. I still cannot believe it myself, but the FBI actually told me like 8 months ago that you're not safe in your house. I was like making joke of that and saying that, look, I receive daily death threats.
According to U.S. federal agents, the elaborate plot, allegedly by Iran intelligence agents, involved kidnapping Alinejad and forcibly taking her to Iran. On Tuesday, the Justice Department formally charged 5 Iranian nationals with involvement in the alleged scheme.
They have never done anything as audacious as this one, trying to kidnap an American citizen from the United States. But they've done it from Europe and they've done it from United Arab Emirates. And the reason they would want to do it is because this is a regime that survives based on terror, based on fear. And Ms. Masih Alinejad has been very vocal in her criticism of the Iranian regime and has been very effective in trying to get people to organize different forms of resistance to this regime.
Alinejad, now a U.S. citizen after fleeing from Iran in 2009, reports on human rights abuses by the Iranian government and led a social media movement against Iranian laws, making hijabs mandatory for women.
I gave the platform to the women inside Iran who are saying no to forced hijab, who are actually saying that in 21st century, we want to enter a stadium. We want to have the right to sing. We want to have the right to dance. They just want to have a normal life. I'll give the platform to the people inside Iran who say no to the Islamic Republic. Is that a crime? I'm simply doing my job. Simply being a journalist is a crime in the eyes of the Islamic Republic.
Iran has dismissed the Justice Department's report on the kidnapping plot as baseless. But intelligence expert Heather Williams says the Iranian government has attempted to lure or force dissidents back to Iran.
You see some of the previous operations, they've tried to entice or convince someone to come back into Iran where they might have more tools to imprison this individual and potentially execute them. And it seemed like here some of those other tactics weren't working, and so they were getting more aggressive.
Alinejad has called for an equally aggressive response by the Biden administration, which is also facing delicate efforts to restore the 2015 nuclear deal.
We have never assessed Iran to be a good actor in the world, not just by this plot to kidnap a person who's residing in the U.S., but their activities in the region, which we have had great concern about, and the president has taken retaliatory actions for. But at the same time, we still see it in U.S. interests and in our national interest to engage in ongoing discussions so that we can have greater visibility into Iran's path to acquiring a nuclear weapon.
The United Nations has also condemned the alleged kidnap plot. Jesus Semeoni, VOA News, Washington.